Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Goldfinch. So, don't know too much about it, except for what it says on IMDb about some kid gets adopted by some upper middle class family in New York after his mother dies in some bombing or something like that. So, don't know too much other than that. And Ansel Elgort, you know him from a lot of different things. Nicole Kidman's in it, but Ansel's in Divergent, Baby Driver, and some other things. Anyway, you've seen him in a lot of different things. So that's what drew me to this movie. IMDb currently has it at 6.3. A little over 5,000 people have viewed it so far. So, not great. Here's the other issue. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Whoa! So I'll get into it here. I didn't really want this long of a movie, but I can't find anything else to watch. So, well, I'll get into it, see what it's all about, give you a better idea, and then ultimately tell you what I think. Stick around. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching The Goldfinch. We're at the 1 hour, 36 minute, and 18 second mark. And I can tell you that if you started watching this movie, and maybe you're like me, the first 40 minutes was almost like I was going to turn it off. So what's happening in the first 40 minutes is our main character here loses his mother in the bombing that we know about, and was in this nose, gets taken in by an upper class family run by Nicole Kidman and their kids, and it shows that piece of it. So he's kind of orphaned and you know, trying to find his way throughout. And that's 40 minutes, and it is, yeah. And he meets also a guy who's like an antiquer, and starts to develop a relationship there, which is more significant than I think him being raised by this family for the first 40 minutes. But I don't know yet. We'll get back to that because right now it really doesn't have a lot of significance. But it's very dry and boring, and to the point where it's like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to finish this movie. I rarely turn movies off, but I got there, I was falling asleep, and then muscled through it. I muscled through it, and it picks up. So what happens after that, his father, you know, who was estranged, comes back for him and moves him out to Las Vegas, where, you know, he meets a friend. It's one of the actors, Finn from Stranger Things. He plays his friend out there, and, you know, they build a little bit of relationship, and they're building on this story a little bit more. Now Ansel, the actor, he is the older version of what we're seeing of this kid, and it's more through flashbacks, so he's not in it that much for the first hour and 36 minutes, but he's in it here and there, you know, but it really does pick up. So if you've started watching this and turned it off, give it some more time, because after the 40-minute mark, I'm starting to enjoy it a little bit more. And it's pretty interesting on some of the things that they do in this movie. So I don't want to spoil anything for you, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more at the end, but I wanted to catch you up where we are now. In his flash forward, or whatever, in present time, they're showing him, you know, back in New York. So like I said, his father takes him out to Las Vegas, he comes back to New York, reconnects a little bit with that family that raised him, and is you know, moving forward with his life. So I'll get back to it a little bit more, a little bit vague, but I wanted to I mean, the biggest thing is it's not as bad as the first 40 minutes, and it's quite interesting, and I wanted to give you a better idea of really what the synopsis is. So if anything interesting happens between now and the end, I'll stop in, but if not, I'll see you at the credits. There's just under an hour left, so it is a little long, but alright, that's it. I'll keep it going here, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of the Goldfinch, and wow, a really good movie in my eyes. I really enjoyed this a lot. It morphed. 2 hours and 30 minutes, that's my only dig on it. It was too long, but it's needed. A lot of times you get these movies that are long, they're not, you know, you don't need all this stuff. I mean, again, the first 40 minutes, you're going to keep hearing me talk about that. I'm not sure I understand the significance, but that first 40 minutes is just about this kid who's becoming an orphan. We understand that, and he's being raised by a different family. And then he's finally accepted. That's one thing I forgot to mention was, Nicole Kidman's raising this family essentially with a couple other kids, and they're rich and whatever, and never really fits in, but he's finally starting to fit in. The whole thing was about going away on summer vacation to Massachusetts, and he gets invited. So now things are starting to look up for him, and that's when his dad comes in, as I said, and whisks him away off to Las Vegas, right? So other than that, I'm not sure. I mean, I know Nicole Kidman's role was playing like, a mother to him in a sense. He had just lost his mother. She really takes a shining to him, and so that's there. Other than that, I'm not sure how much it was needed. You tell me what else significance it had. Oh, and the fact that she had a lot of old antiques around her house, and again, through the explosion, because he was there when it happened, he somehow, I know how, but he gets connected to another person who, is involved in antiques, selling them, refinishing them, all that kind of stuff, and that's important. The Nicole Kidman family thing, I'm not sure, but that piece is very important. Anyway, it all starts out there, and then it moves to Las Vegas, where it kind of takes into a different piece where he meets the friend, starts experimenting with some drugs. The scene with the acid is like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, you have to see it to see what I'm talking about, because it's like heavy, I think. And so that was wild all on its own. And then from there, he comes back from Las Vegas, and we flash forward to his life today, and and then subtly throughout the film, there's something going on, and I'm not even going to tell you what it is, because I was going to say it on the first one. Oh, right now everybody's got to be thinking about this, but it's very subtle, and it's very in the background, but very important, and it all comes around. It's so well developed, I think. A lot of time when I talk about how poorly developed films are, this one was very well developed. I think that when everything starts to come around here at the end, and all the moving parts start to connect together, it's like, wow, and I think part of the point of the movie is faith and serendipity and all that stuff, and it really works. And it morphs again from that boring, drab story about this orphan, and is he going to be asked to go to vacation or not? Oh, wow, you know what I mean? To the end with, I don't even want to tell you, but you'll see, it becomes more of an action film at the end, let's say, in a small way. I don't want to go into great detail, because you have to see the transformation of this film, and I'm surprised that it's at 6 point whatever on IMDb. I am 7.5 to 8 on it. And I think it helps that I was very pleasantly surprised at this. I had no idea. Again, watching it in the beginning, I was like, yeah, I might turn this off, to wow, it really works out. And you're at the end, and you're knowing what's going on, and you're like, wow, is this all gonna end? And then it does. And I was satisfied with 95% of the ending. And I get it all. So, and throughout this piece, there's love interest. I didn't even talk about that. There's love interests, which I really wish I could elaborate on, because again, it has that serendipitous feeling to it, and also brings back the Nicole Kidman family. But I don't know how important it. Probably could have done without that piece. I'm not sure I understand it as in the grand scheme of things. Good, it works. Don't get me wrong, but if I had to cut it, that might be where it was. All right, there I go. Check this film out. If you like Ansel, you got to check it out now. Be aware that he's not until the last, third of the film, maybe. Spotty throughout, but then he comes in a little bit later. But well worth it. And the kid who plays his, the same guy, I'm sure I'm not going to be able to find what his name was. Maybe, if I could do that for you. The kid is Oakes Fagley. So he plays the young young Theo. So Theo's our main character that Ansel then plays later. I thought he did a pretty good job. Anyway, check it out. No longer listen to me. I'll put links in the description below. Right? Yeah, it's below. Click on it and go check this out. If you haven't heard of it, doesn't matter. Go check it out. I think it's well worth the 2 hours and 30 minutes. Make sure you have the time for it. And don't turn it off until after he leaves New York. If after he leaves New York and you're still not satisfied with the film, okay, I understand. But make it through there, because that was the toughest part for me. Alright, that's it. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. Nice little diamond in the rough for me. But if you did, hit the like button. You know, drop me comments on what you thought of the film. Tell your friends about my channel, and continue to tune in at Kimmel's Irish Pub.